Okay, we should be live again with the World Cup for maybe the last time. So it's quite dramatic here at the World Cup. France and China are playing the final, and France has 4 wins, China has 3, which means the last game will decide the tournament. If France wins, it's 5-3 and it's over. If China wins, then the tournament will not be ending today, and we'll have a Champions Challenge, best of one, to decide the winner of the 2023 World Cup. And we are going to have a look at the matchup. So we have a bit of time. This time started early. And I'm here again with my teammate from the Slovenian team, Sara. Hello.
Hi.
So I guess we can say a few words about the World Cup in general. So I was quite delighted to be able to play in this one. I had to skip the last two because simply Slovenia did not have a team. I was the only player from this country that I was aware of, and was a pleasant surprise to be invited to Team Slovenia for this one. And I think we can all say that we had a lot of fun, right?
Yeah, it was great. It was great for us as well.
And got a few
But
wins there as well. And I think if we played it again next month, we would do even better. A bit more experience
yeah,
with this type of format now, and what kind of decks do well. I think you were playing Lannister and Stark in the tournament, and Stark was a good deck that came up against some tricky matchups, but then when it came up against a good matchup, it won quite easily. But the Lannister, maybe the focus on intrigue challenges in this tournament was not really a deck that worked, right? So
Stark was good when there was no Morgulis or any like. If it was just to harass for a reset, it was okay.
yeah,
And
and
then Stark
with open deck lists, you can tell immediately, right? If the 7 cost Caitlyn can just grab power passively, and if the opponent has no answers in the deck, then you know that you are going to have a good game. But a lot of the time in this tournament, you see these Martel decks and the Terrell Lion with the father and stuff like that. It's that actually happened in one of the games, right? When
Yeah, it was so close. The next round, and I drew the event that would save Catelyn.
yeah, I think she had 8 or something on her, and you were up to 11, and then the father got her back into hand.
Although even if I got the event, there was still Hand's judgment. So
Yeah. Uh, okay, so we had our fun, and I'm sure the other teams did as well. Lots of teams here from all parts of the world. We had Chile joining, we had India with just the 3 players. So the smallest team, we were not even the smallest team in the tournament. India just played all of the games with 3 players, and yeah, lost 2, won 2. So very successful for such a small team. We have Norway, that was actually a huge team, but a pretty new team. Most of the players only starting to play this game in the COVID time, so very recently compared to some of the more experienced teams. And we have Bulgaria coming back to the game. We have Italy, which was back in the day one of the strongest teams. Okay, not all of the players are still playing, but still very respectable. And in the other group, Germany, actually, Germany, Berlin, and Austria. Germany had some of their players across 3 different teams. Austria, of course, even without borrowing players, is very strong. He was one of the strongest teams in the previous World Cups. And Hungary making it as well this time. So pretty much all of the teams. Greece, I think, where is it? Greece doing well in this tournament. Was missing in the last Battle of the Nations. So really, every nation, maybe some of the Baltic teams and the Scandinavian teams missing a little bit, and the one that stands out is the UK. So they were not able to join. Some players played for Norway, but would like to see them back. And I guess the Netherlands as well is notably missing. But 20 teams, so I think was a big success. We were going to have a little stream with Hannes and Zini as well to comment on the World Cup, but Zini is busy today, so I'm not sure that will happen. So let us focus on the final game then. It has not started yet, which gives us the chance to look at the decks. And this is the situation. So we have Night's Watch, Valyrian Steel, and we have Greyjoy, Fealty. And the players, just to give you some idea here, so for France, Alex is of course the reigning online world champion. So in this tournament he is not undefeated. He's lost a few, so he's not unbeatable, but he is playing the deck that won him the world title. So it's a good guy to have in the deciding game of the tournament. And China is this is the game, I think. Yeah, CHILAM is playing Knights of Valyrian Steel and lost one, the mirror game, against another Knights of Valyrian Steel, but won all the others. So he's extremely strong with this deck. And let's have a look at what the decks are like. So this is the Chinese deck, and this is a known deck, right? So it was played very successfully in the past by Tamás from Hungary. It defends the wall, has all the attachments, and used for draw with Seasoned Woodsman. If you attach them, the positive attachments to him, he either gains gold or draws cards. So it's always getting the resources and defending the wall. So the thing to do really is to survive all the resets if you can, keep playing the characters, and then the board gets overwhelming, and in the long game you tend to win. And a little bit of luck needed sometimes. So against Greyjoy it will be important to get the milk, it will be important to get the Craven, and with 75 cards it's not guaranteed, but you can get it, and there's 3 copies of Lay Waste, which can be used on your own cards if you're searching for something very specific. And this is another deck that plays fresh recruits, so that can grab 3 different traits. Now that there is no great ranging in this one, but you can grab 3 separate characters and get a big board in that way. And the Greyjoy deck is playing as the restricted card Alanis, legitimate choice, so that's a strong draw card. And what decisions have they made here? So Euron is the redesigned version with Intimidate if there's another Raider, which there should be, because there's 3 Jaeger deckhands and 3 Orkman Reavers that are very cheap to get into play. And Victarion is also the redesigned version, which is quite important. He can kneel the wall without doing anything in challenges. And Balon is which one? The one that does not kneel. Okay, so that's probably the one that is used the least, but could be good. So this is definitely one to get Craven if you can. And it's playing, of course, Asha is restricted, the 7-cost version. It's playing the 6-cost version, but just the 1 copy. And there's a lot of locations for Victarion, the warships mainly. There's Sweet Sleep to protect against Cravens and Milks, and Reasons and We Do Not So, of course, in the deck. And the plots, let's compare the plots. So in this one we take Westeros. So if, for instance, if the wall gets somehow discarded and you can grab it, that's a massive play, but usually this is just used as plot to win initiative, and then you grab your Iron Gate back. We have Morghulis to reset. Anti-reset is returned to the fields. Nothing burns. If you can get something impactful to get discarded, should have targets against Knights of Valyrian Steel. Then an Econ plot, a draw plot, and Brand the Builder, which is common even as an opener, to grab some of those locations. And the other deck is playing Dohaeris as the reset, which is good against Greyjoy. No outwit to cancel it. It's competing for initiative with the Maiden. It has the Smith to control locations, some of those warships. And the Crown, which you can try to time against Morghulis to keep your massive board. And all the draw here, 2 copies of Exchange, and another killer, Duel. So with a bunch of big guys that need to be really in play for Greyjoy to have the advantage. Duel being revealed and kneeling one, killing the other is a big play. So I'm not sure. What's your prediction, Sara? Who is winning this one?
I kind of hope China wins, just for another game, right? Just maybe.
Yeah, all the neutrals I think are hoping for that. And I think they have a chance, right? They have the plot game there with Duel and Dohaeris. They're like perfect counters to the Greyjoy board usually. But the plan to defend the wall with potentially Victarion kneeling it just passively and kneeling the other locations as well. So what else do we have in terms of locations? We have Castle Black, 1 copy. The the Shadow Tower. Okay, so nothing that impactful. So I guess just needing the wall is going to be big. And then timing the crown, I guess. So the expectation is for all of those old forest hunters and stuff like that to survive the Morgulis if you can time the crown. And that will nullify Greyjoy, Greyjoy's reset. And we'll see how that goes. Yeah, hello, Hannes.
Hi, sorry. But didn't also the Valyrian steel deck that Alex faced in last year's Worlds also play to Harris and Duel, and he still managed to pull off a victory?
Well, I don't have that good memory to remember exactly, but yeah, possibly.
But it was also a very, very close game.
That deck, I think, got through the cut with a lot of Greyjoy there, so it got through some Greyjoys, like my deck did as well. Beat some Greyjoys along the way, but couldn't get them all. I lost against Greyjoy in the end as well. Just can't keep winning, right? It's a strong deck, so even if you have a good matchup, it is a strong deck. Always has been. Okay, what do we have here? I think we need to leave this one. There's another one going to be created. Okay. And one thing is for sure, we can't really expect many misplays in this one, I think.
Yeah, two super solid players playing their best decks. Yeah. And the stakes couldn't be higher.
Yeah, so China is the defending champion, and before that, so that was the Battle of the Nations that was played 2 years ago, I think, and then previously we had 2 World Cups that were played online. Both were won by Germany. I think that China was not playing in those, so they didn't really join the international competitive game until the COVID times, I believe. And before that, we had some team competitions that were played in person at Stalek. Don't exactly know, but I think Greece was one of the more successful teams there in the past.
They actually did compete in 2019 already, but they didn't perform so well. So they won 1 game and lost 3 others. I don't know who played back then, but yeah, since Battle of the Nations, they're certainly maybe the dominant team, being in both finals.
And France, well, have not won it yet, I believe, but just the players they have, even in the early days of this tournament, when they lost one and they drew another, I keep referring to them as one of the tournament favorites, and that's because if you look at the players and how they played, for instance, in the last Stalek event in November, I think they have something like 5th place, 6th place, 8th and 9th place, something like that. So 4 players getting to the cut there and going extremely far. And Alex didn't even play in that, so they have those plus Alex, and then a few more players that are very respectable. So it's just about as good as it gets, I think. And here we are. No econ for Night's Watch. Starts with the wall though. Starts with the wall with against nothing burns in the deck. That's dangerous.
Just gets discarded.
Yeah, now I guess Alex thinks whether this is worth playing it against the better opener. No, but he does, yeah.
And what about, for instance, just going with Westeros, and if you have Euron, just grabbing it? That seems like it ruins the game for Night's Watch, right?
Yeah, good point.
Although you could play Lay Waste, of course, if you play lay waste on a location that your opponent controls but you own, then you get to replace it with another card. It's a risky start, so not sure what the situation is
Oh.
now. 75 cards. Is he getting the wall back at any point is the question.
Piglin took a mulligan, so I guess how this looks like he probably regrets it. I can't see it any other way. And then it was probably the best he could do, and probably he said, okay, I'll cut my losses and I'll get Nothing Burns out of the way right away. And I'll try to draw as much as possible to get a new wall.
Yeah, for a minute I considered whether he had another copy in hand. So for instance, you play it, force the Nothing Burns, and then you just marshal the real one. But it's risky either way, because then it's not duped and it can get discarded if you lose an unopposed challenge at any point in the game. But now we've seen Tamas playing this kind of deck many times, and it's not a death sentence if you don't have the wall. You can still win. If you get a huge board and you can just compete in the challenges, it's still playable.
Yeah.
One seasoned woodsman also here. He can help with the draw, find the answers. But now here comes Greyjoy. So unusual start. Usually would not see this opener. So I guess it has below average gold, but there's Fealty and 2 reducers. Okay, Hannes, what do you think? We take Westeros?
Yeah, I mean, why take chances next round, right?
And of course that keeps him out of challenges. Then you're not doing much, but you are grabbing the wall. you could just defend it, try to win that way. That would be a bit ridiculous.
And China seems not to be running Lord Commander, right? So that also reduces their ability to gain a lot of power with a lot of challenges with all the chats, right?
There's one long claw. I'm not seeing anything else that could gain power, so all the power is gained either from the wall or dominance. There is, I think, is there an Iron Throne there? Yes, there is one. And competing in challenges is the only other way. Passing completely.
Yeah, probably doesn't want to give away an unopposed for Alex to grab power back. And his draw doesn't depend on challenges being won at the moment, so probably he wants to play it safe as long as possible.
Hand's Judgment. That's not a bad card to get, because there's 3 reasons and 3 we do not so. Now there are some tricks available, of course, always with Valyrian Steel. You can surprise. For instance, if you put a 0 cost location into play now, you could grab gold and play Lay Waste or something like that. So you have to keep an eye on that. There could be surprise Milks, surprise Cravens, surprise Serious Training hits on the Woodsman now.
Yeah. I called it early. Last game I called it early. This one goes to Alex. I think Piglin probably drew the worst mulligan that he could have imagined there. And I think that's this bad start he cannot recover. That's my call. I'm hoping also for a Champions duel, of course, but I fear Alex might take this one.
I will see if that Westeros play happens. So Sara, you were saying that it's the first time you're seeing some of the Night's Watch cards, and I can admit that I don't remember the last time I saw Samuel Tarly in play like this. So there's the core version that has the plus reserve that sometimes you might use. It's a cheap steward, and the really popular recent one, the 6 coster. But this one that just takes blanks text box. I've not seen him for a long time. And there is actually, nothing in the deck, 2 copies. I forgot to mention that earlier. That takes keywords as well. And he goes for it now. Grabbing the wall here somehow and marshalling it before Euron can take it is possible, but needs a bit of luck.
Yeah, it would make the game much more interesting if he somehow gets it in exchange of information.
Okay, so we have attachments, we have events, we have characters. Could it be there is no location revealed? That's pretty sad. Okay, so stopping keywords. There's not that many. We can assume probably that Intimidate on Euron is going to come. And the other one, Long Claw. Yeah, not giving Cravens, of course, or anything like that. Negative attachments, Long Claw. Which works only on attached characters, so you need to win challenges with that character. Oh, Isle of Ravens. It's going to shuffle the wall.
Amazing play, great.
1 copy, I think, of Isle of Ravens in the deck. That's a nice save. And
Really
now,
nice.
now there's you could get the flip bottom alley, which you can't use. So I guess that Iron Gate is now getting sacked, right, for more draw. Or there's a Maiden's Bane. Nice backup, especially if you can get a cheaper raider, so that you don't need to spend Euron.
Yeah. Always impressive how much they can get on the board in a turn where they only have like 3 gold.
Yeah, and even after the redesigns, so it was really crazy before. It was one of those 4 decks, I guess, that at the end of the FFG era were the strongest decks in the game. So this one, there was the Lanny Shadows, Bara Kohor and Dark Sea of Blood that completely dominated the last official World Championship.
I'm super happy that overall the meta looks so much more diverse than it probably used to be at the end of FFG era, basically before I joined. Yeah, there are some very strong decks out, but I feel in general it's so nice to have so many different decks out there.
Yeah, and all the factions are really playable at the moment. Okay, some have more options than others, but you can't. If you're a loyalist, you're not going to struggle to win with your faction, I think. Okay, so that plan to just gain power with the wall for Greyjoy now is not happening, and here comes Nightwatch, right, with the big defensive board that can just try to oppose everything, and then there's not much power gained, but let's see. So Asha gives stealth to what? Ironborns, that includes Euron and no one else. And is she a raider? She's not, so he does not have Intimidate. And Silence can stand him, so I think now either you just don't use the plot, or you still grab grab the Maiden's Bane or try with the Iron Gate. So Maiden's Bane, there's just one copy, and since it's gone I would grab it. It's a big location. Seized on the economy location, interesting. Would be better on silence.
Okay, Chan is getting more gold.
So
Maybe to jump in an attachment.
I was expecting Strangler to push this through, but okay, we have Longclaw. What's the plan? It's not doing anything in this challenge. Or is it? Lose all keywords. Okay, so that means Asha and Euron don't have stealth anymore. And Pillage, I guess.
I like seeing that event. That's... Yeah, I find it difficult to build into decks, but for wall defense, it obviously makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think it's quite an old one now, right? It came out in... was it in Hear My Words or the pack after? And hasn't really seen much play, but has some beautiful art here. And in specific situations, if you can get the right situation, it's incredibly impactful. Imagine against Mammer's Fires, for instance, where Greyjoy has, let's say, 5 characters in play and all have 4 keywords, which is really crazy. You can just take everything away.
Or also in a game like against Argento, the game before, take away his renown, also strong.
Yeah, then I think he needs to keep that brand in play. Okay, Euron gets Maiden's Bane. I assume he's going to stand with silence at some point. And Alanis draws, yeah. So she can draw 2 per round, 1 when you marshal, 1 when you use silence. This time she draws from the plot as well. Okay, no, Euron doesn't stand. Just go into another round. And the restricted list here, so Alanis, Spike and Asha, I think is spot on, because we see a nice spread between these 3. It's a really difficult choice.
Oh, good call. To cancel Hop, that would have been 2 cards drawn.
And now there's only 2 left. And do you do the reset here?
Depends on whether he has risen.
Yeah, and of course Crone is in the deck, so let's see if Piglam expects Morgulis here and tries to play the counter. Certainly it's a threat, right? So if you can just get the Crone out of the way. No, goes for more draw. And the other side we have Brand the Builder.
Oh no, it is the one.
Gets 3 again.
No attachment.
No attachments in a Valyrian steel deck, that's amazing. There's a few already in play and presumably in hand, but still not nearly all of them. There's 18 in the deck. So we have, by the way, we have 2 6-costers here, so Duel is in the deck. And Harris. And I think something big might be coming. Something really big.
Boom.
Okay, and the Meister. Now the location has not been used yet, so choices here. Could try to block economy. Sweet sleep on weak, just in case there is a milk or a craven. Or do you wait if the wall gets marshaled? Keep your Meister. No, cancels the vault.
Well, Victorian should be able to take good care of the wall, right?
Yes, exactly, he can get it anytime. Okay, the number of warships is not that huge at the moment, so Silence and Maiden's Bane need to kneel for their own effect. There is one refurbished Hulk that is a free use. And there it is. And with the recruit, I think there's enough here to defend it. So it's not getting we do not sowed, but it can get knelt. Well, I guess if you can kneel it, it's not a big deal. You don't need to desperately try to get rid of it. It's giving plus strength, which is annoying in itself. It's making it difficult for Greyjoy to push challenges through. And Greyjoy is not super fast. It's not like a Stark deck that has all the renown. Victarion needs to use his ability to gain renown. Euron doesn't have it. Balon has it.
Yep, this Isle of Raven really made mess of my prediction. So Alex has to try really hard to make it come true now. But that's actually what we want to see. The other thing might have been, weird, funny, but also kind of boring.
And I believe there's still no raiders. So he does not have Intimidate. Euron, so just going for Intrigue with Alanis. And this can be easily defended. Slightly weaker one is the power, I guess. There's two characters and the recruiter, or the recruit from the dungeons. And these guys do all have stealth. So at least winning it should be possible. But then you have most things knelt and yeah, even Nightwatch can even strike back with some challenges. So at the moment, if it stayed like this, I think Nightwatch is doing very well. However, we have Dohaeris, we have Duel, and we have Morgulis. It's all getting played in the next 30 minutes.
If you play Morgulis now, even if he has reason, I think he now has hand judgment, right?
From exchange, yeah, should. But even better would be just to crown it. Actually, crown. What does it keep alive? Well, it keeps. Yeah, it keeps 4 chards, so that's well worth it. But it also keeps the fishmongers. Here comes Victarion. Should be able to. Well, is he winning this actually against this and Recruiter and Castle Black? I think he needs to kneel Castle Black if he wants to win. Unless there is a Fanatic in hand to cancel the Recruiter.
And now on my screen, the spectators list is really from all the way from the top, all the way down to the bottom. It's really nice to see.
Yeah, 40 and watching us on stream, 13 at the moment. Which for me is a high number. I know some other streamers get a bit more, but usually somewhere around between 2 and 4. So yeah, welcome guys to the stream. Hope you're enjoying it. Okay, so he couldn't push the power through, but he can do the military for what it's worth as first player. And board now net. And spare boot moving attachments around just to make sure it's at least opposed. I guess I was trying to get the unopposed here, right? To play with do not so.
Would you use Victorian already for power gain now? Needing the warships?
Is he staying in play? Probably.
Yeah.
Against the resets.
I mean,
yeah, he's the one you kneel for duel because he can restand, right? And you keep him for the Harris, so yeah.
Yeah, and you would want this one to be your big guy against the wall.
Well, he stands for defense, which means, well, there's no power to steal, so he's gonna defend whatever is initiated here. Here comes the woodsman again. Good card to get on setup. And okay, not bothering with challenges because the situation was that Euron and Victorian would win on defense. I think all of them. And well, the power gain almost none here for both players. And if the wall keeps getting knelt, it could stay largely the same, and then we would have one of those nervy endings where it goes to time and they're both trying to get ahead.
Yeah, so for power draw, Piglum of course has the advantage of having more cards in his deck, but if he keeps drawing like this, he'll overtake Alex.
Okay, so the Smith will get some of those warships for Victorian and we'll get the silence, I think, here. Counting coppers to grab cards before the resets, maybe trying to get some reasons as well. And now the last 3 plots are interesting because there is 4 knights, which steal the crown, and to Harris and duel. So if the game goes beyond these 3 rounds, you can even get them back, right? So you get either duel or the Harris back to strike again, and it's really annoying for Greyjoy. And Greyjoy has Morghulis return to the fields, which again can mess with some of those plots, maybe. And then what's the last one? Late Summer Feast. Yeah.
So which plot would you want to pin so that you cannot reuse that? Hard to tell, right?
Well, Yeah, it's difficult. I think it will be interesting when we get to the taxation phase here. So they're both trying to counter. So return counters duel somewhat if you can sack, assuming you win initiative, right? So was the maiden? Yeah, the maiden was played here, but there's some modifiers, so initiative is tight. And if Greyjoy wins, you can sack some of the 6+ costers to make duel fizzle, and the other mini game is the Morgulis against Crown. And there is still Crester somewhere in the deck that we have not seen at all.
Crester is the one that's immune to plot effects.
Yeah, he stays alive for Morgulis and can bring everyone back by sacrificing himself. And he's immune, of course, he's immune to Harris, so you can keep a bigger board if he's one of the characters. But I think there's just one copy. Yeah, just the one copy. And Sir Jeremy Riker gives Rangers a power icon. At the moment that's just the one, but it's useful because of Asha stealth. Yeah, this one is not finishing in 55 minutes, nowhere near. I think there's no power gain for either player. Now all the warships are knelt, so is there something you can do? Are the attachments also knelt? I think they are, so if you marshal one now, it stays standing for Victarion to at least kneel the wall.
But he has also Master Murinmore this round as a backup against the wall.
Right, okay.
Unless he has a milk in hand. So Piglement can milk Murinmore during the challenges phase with Valyrian Steel. That would be sneaky.
Another big one, just marshaled. He has renown, and as long as he's not cravened or milked, he can do 2 challenges, and he should have stealth as well, right? But still no raiders for intimidate. And here is the warship. So you can even leave that, I think, now and try to see if with all the stealth, like he tried last round, he tried to get an unopposed. If you can't get it, maybe you can use that warship to get something else for Victarion. And if not, you can kneel the wall or you can use Murinmore, and now there is a raider. So if Euron wins challenges, he can intimidate. So more of a chance to kneel it. And now I think it's Night's Watch that's forced to play one of the plots, right? I think Harris maybe the first one to try.
Yeah.
Not passing, just going for them. Now let's have a look at Samuel. Each participating non-steward as if its printed text box were blank. That means if he is able to defend against Euron, he would stop the intimidate, but Euron has stealth.
But he has stealth.
Yeah, exactly. And there are some events as we saw, so you know nothing is in the deck. It was shuffled earlier with Isle of Ravens. There's 2 copies, and we saw Nightmares as well at one point being revealed for exchange, but it wasn't added to hand. So that's still there somewhere. 3 copies even.
And they're almost equalized with the deck.
31 against 38. It's that Woodsman and the agenda. And of course, exchange of information. Now that's the last restricted list, or is it two lists ago now, when all the factions got a bunch of cards added. That really hurt because I used to play in most Baratheon decks, I used to play Exchange, and losing that to keep Traitor to the Crown was a big hit, and I think some of the others felt that as well. But any deck that can play 2 copies of Exchange has a massive draw advantage against what you are used to.
Yeah, particularly because this Valyrian Steel deck has uncharacteristically many events, so he has a good chance of hitting actually 3 or 4 cards with each of exchange of information blocks.
Yeah, maybe that's the reason, right? If you are going to play Exchange, you adjust your deck to give yourself a chance to have 4. So I always look at, in a 60 card deck, I always so characters you're going to get, right, and locations usually you have a high number, and then I go 6/6 if I can, and that's a decent chance to get 4 cards if you get 6 attachments and 6 events.
Yeah.
Although it depends, right? If you are looking for something specific, so for instance Sir Pounce is an attachment that I like in a deck that plays exchange of information, you might also want to go low, because then you have a better chance of that being the only attachment that's revealed, and then they're forced to give it to you. I think we saw that in Martell in the past with secret schemes. Just don't go super high with events, and then they're forced to give you secret schemes for exchange. So more and more is spent on the Castle Black. There goes, you know nothing. Is there a cancel? There isn't, because he's not playing it in the deck.
Great play.
And lose all keywords is permanent, means it goes, even if Victarion now gives himself renown, he's not going to have it.
That's interesting. Good to know. I didn't know that a character cannot regain.
Yeah, all
keywords.
Keywords means all instances of all keywords, so all possible instances. It's like having an infinite negative number. So you have, if you can imagine, like minus 100 renowned keywords, and then you gain one, it's still minus, and you don't have it.
All right. Too bad that it doesn't work in the tourney for a king round, because then the knights are immune. Ooh, that's tough. He did have a milk. That's, I think, not ideal.
But you know what?
But I think this round the wall should be okay.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. He didn't use Victarion, and he was Nightmares, so Muramur is spent, and Victarion has failed to kneel the wall, so it's going to trigger.
True.
And that's big, because the power is tight, and it's going to time for sure.
Yeah, well played.
Now, can he at least win this one? It's 12 this time, and the Iron Fleet Scout is available. Well, he can. And what's the dominant situation? So that's going to Night's Watch, unless something weird happens. And losing keywords. This guy with stealth would have been nice as well here. But it's just going to be defended. But with the Iron Fleet Scout, might win this on offense, on attack anyway.
Why did he use 2 for the power?
2 characters, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, possibly worried about some tricks. So with Victarion on the Ironfleet Scout, so that's 8, right? Victarion plus Ironfleet Scout against 8. That was the strength on defense would have been just enough.
So Miha, should we ask another organizer to join us for the last minutes of this World Cup? I think Magnus would be ready.
Well, finally took his time. Okay, let's make that happen. The more the merrier. Now, can I do that? Let's see. I should be able to, right?
Yes. Ooh, strong play. He does not play his reset yet, and Alex already now has played his return to the field, so he'll have to eat both Dohaeris and Duel.
But also Morghulis will
and
kill
also
everything.
He can't even use return because of the crown.
Yeah, at least not for the cheap ones, yeah.
Yeah, he... did he cancel it completely? So, okay, so he has plenty of cards. He's going to keep the characters, try to get a good round. Okay, so... do we have Zini joining us? If you can hear us, let us know.
Nice.
Fresh recruits now. Any dupes to be found? No dupes, but there is a save.
Let me know if you can hear me, guys. I got a bit bad reception up here.
We can hear you. Welcome.
Perfect. Thank you. Can you give me like a really short recap of what's going on? I just entered your stream, so I just jumped outside, grabbed the computer.
The tournament or this game specifically?
I understood that France is leading 4-3, right?
Yeah, so this is the decisive game, and there was an interesting opening. So Night's Watch set up the wall, and Greyjoy obviously played Nothing Burns, and then the following round tried with We Take Westeros for Euron to grab the wall, but Isle of Ravens shuffled it back just in time. And since then, Night's Watch has this board that defends everything, and Victarion, of course, can kneel the wall, but last round he failed because he got nightmares, and there is very little power gain, and now the game will be decided by the last few plots. So we had the Crown that was going to counter Morghulis, that was not played, and we had Return to the Fields that was going to counter Duel, and that was not played. So now Night's Watch has Duel and Harris against this huge board, and Greyjoy still has Morghulis and Late Summer Feast. So I guess now Duel has to come first, right? Because it needs to kill something before it can live play with the Harris.
This strange match, though. It seems out of what you said and the little I've seen so far. So, yeah, a good decider.
And now so many characters. And remember, so we had the Nightmares and the You Know Nothing. But if that's not played, then so many of these guys have stealth, either just from their own ability or from Asha. So we can stealth almost everything. And what's the card in Shadows? Old Tattersalt? Or is there something
from
else?
the dungeons, right?
Ah, that went back, okay.
Yeah, so I think if you lose, it has to go back to Shadows.
Yep. He runs 3 Tattersalt, or is it 2?
I think just the one.
Just 1, okay. I love that card. It's such a strong card. I'll fetch the list so I can actually follow what's going on as well. We do not so get discarded, alright.
Night Flyer.
Night Flyer comes out.
Okay, more draw for Alanis. So now with everything having stealth for the moment, and the wall is knelt anyway, the plan I guess here is to try to get some power somehow. So power claim first of all, that's the most important because that stays on the faction card, and then on the character that is going to survive. That looks like it's going to be Victarion, so he has to gain renown on himself. Let's assume that Balon is going, so it doesn't matter whether he gets renown or not.
And discarding cost to black here can be kind of big. I guess it has been triggered every single round.
Not so much, because so there was more and more last round, and there is Victarion. Can heal a little bit.
Yeah, of course, of course. He's still around. I'll fetch the decks.
Okay, so we can start all characters in fact, but there are tricks. There is the recruiter, right? And now what happened to Spareboot? Is he dead? He was moving. Yeah, he was moving attachments around, including practice blade. So there was some tricks to be done there. Although you can still stealth him preemptively. Craven on Victarion. That's not gonna work. What's the plan here?
Maybe he has a lay waste, and he wastes Sweet Sleep.
Could do.
Yeah, I see he got 3 in the deck, so I don't know how many has been discarded so far.
I don't think we've seen it yet.
No, so he probably has it. But it's his ability that kind of sucks here for China.
And so he has Shadow 2. He can do this again if he's not cancelled. The recruiter or recruit from the dungeons. There's just enough gold to stop the unopposed from all the stealth.
It is insane how well he can defend against, I don't know, 1 billion Greyjoy big bombs.
It's insane. But yeah, I guess you already talked about this Samuel, right? That just died. It's not a usual card to see in any decks, I think.
Yeah, but
3 cost version.
Yeah, he was fun until he until all the board got stealth there, and yeah, difficult to put him into a challenge on defense.
Yeah.
And now Victarion, of course, he's grabbing power because there's 9 minutes left. I think we'll have 2 rounds. We'll have Duel and Morgulis, and then Dohaeris against Late Summer Fist. So I think Greyjoy is going to try to keep on to his cards to remarshal on the Late Summer Fist turn and try to just squeeze ahead. Yeah, okay, so you need to attack manually because Sweet Sleep doesn't work correctly if you attach something after it's already there. But
yeah, he needs to just remove Sweet Sleep and put it back on again. I thought maybe Alex knew this, but he probably get like 20 pings on his Discord now from the French team to just put it back on again.
Yeah, it's I guess it's a problematic card to implement correctly. But so Sweet Sleep will, even if you attach something after it's already there, it will blank it. And it will also blank the terminal keyword, which means if Victarion leaves play, then Craven goes back to hand. But I think Victarion is there to stay now.
Yeah, probably. Yes, the wall is duped as well. When the reset hits here, he cannot remove it without using, or he needs to disrupt it somehow, so Victarion is the best bet.
Okay, so how are we doing with the Victarion triggers? Is there another renown that can be gained? I think so. And now Craven is causing a bit of a mess, right? Should be in play. And they're gonna
Yeah.
have to do that manually.
Yeah. There we go. For those who doesn't know, just attach Sweet Sleep after the Sweet Sleep is the last attachment done, and everything is usually okay.
But this is taking some time, and
Yeah,
it might make a difference
it's unfortunate.
as to how many rounds will still be played here. I'm expecting 2 rounds. If Morgulis kills off everything, might be a shorter round, and then there's another one. But that's useful power gain here. So Balon is going, right? Even if he saved with reason, he's going for the plots that Nightwatch has. So it's really 5-3, let's say.
Yeah.
But why would he want to save one of the big guys with duel coming, right? So either the opponent plays, so China plays Doharis, then he cannot save them. He doesn't need to save them, maybe. And if duel is coming, he could just, yeah. Oh.
He also still has Hand Judgment, I think.
True. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky to navigate that. So if you save someone from Morgulis, then of course, if it's a big guy, you will get him. So I guess you save Alanis, right? But yeah, that gets cancelled, and Aemon saves someone on the other side. It's not huge. You could even just not play it. If it's 5 minutes, it's close. You could play Late Summer Fist.
He also has 3
Oh, but
Hands
no, he discards your hand.
Loses it. How many is that now gone? Okay, 1 in the discard pile.
Yeah, it's only 1 because he has shuffled it back in, I guess. So
3 in the deck.
There's a possibility for at least 1 more. 3 in total.
And 14-13 for dominance, that's key as well. And I don't see a way to remove Victarion, so he's staying, so it's 6-3. If we assume Balon is going. No layaway tricks or anything like that.
No,
I think Late Summer Fist is the play here. Keeps a bigger board.
Yeah.
And then you can spend you can spend these 3 minutes. It's not going into another round.
Yeah.
And then then in that case I think Doharis was the right play. Now what? You have to keep Victarion, right?
Yeah.
So that just means Victarion and 2 more guys, one of the reducers and one of the Orc Retrievers or something.
Or Murenmur to be safe.
Yeah, depends what he has in hand, right? Murenmur is obviously a good card, but Yeah, I would probably do Mirror and the Victorian either way.
That's what happens.
It does as well.
It's a big board. It might be able to defend the wall now that Asha is gone with her ability, but if Victorian nails it, that's not gaining any power for Nightwatch, and it is very likely the last round. So
Yeah.
Greyjoy just if Greyjoy just passes and defends, that could be enough.
Yeah, nightmares would work wonders for China.
Yeah, and this time
Yeah,
maybe
but-
not leave it until the later in the challenges phase, right? You do it immediately. I mean the Victorian trigger. Okay, so he's thinking there won't be another round. He can marshal a renowned guy, and yeah, more firepower here.
Yeah, 2 minutes. It won't be another round. So this is the way to go, I guess, and just full on power.
Well, for having
Just
that
kneel out the
wall
board.
discarded in round 1 straight after setup,
Yeah.
I have to say that Nightwatch has done a remarkable job here of staying in the game and even looking favorite at one point. But Hannes calls it correctly again, right? Called it
Yeah,
immediately, and there was never any doubt. 60 minutes later.
Not for the reasons I thought.
Honest ruining the stream. Just now. It's over. Fealty wins. Another sweet sleep on Balon this time.
Okay. There's one Craven, there's one Milk, but the two characters are safe, so nothing you can do, and even Greyjoy doesn't even need to attack. So what's this coming in?
Oh.
Oh,
Can stand the wall.
Westwatch by the bridge.
Well,
And
still need to somehow
he's still missing a
Nightmare
ring.
Victorian first, right? Because he's going to nail both of them.
No, he has no ranger as well. Okay. Yeah.
There is a Nightmares. Okay, and there is more and more, to be fair, so now is there a milk to milk more and keep the wall? It's still not quite winning the game, right? It's still
Yeah,
would be
it's
close.
almost.
But yeah, well, with harder now and limited stealth, let's see if he finds a milk. I think it's doable, is it not?
He can. Alex can pass challenges, right?
Yeah, but then
Or
the wall, if the
not,
wall
or
triggers
maybe,
wall and dominance.
yes, you're up and win dominance 6, but he won't win power challenge, I think. And cards. Oh, cards. Oh, in draw pile. Okay. I'm wrong.
Yeah, there's very little reason not to do that power challenge, right? Because he has to use the recruit from the dungeon to defend it.
Yeah, and then. Yeah. He. Yeah, so he gets his power. Right. Oh, when he jumps out, the power
What an
challenge
intense game.
will open. Yeah, it's insane. The problem is Victorian all the way here, right? Because he it will still initiate a reasonably big power challenge.
And Halder mostly spent, nothing much you can do with him anymore. It's closer than it looks, but it depends if more and more gets controlled somehow. I think if more and more got milked, then Nightwatch wins this. But it's still close. If you defend power and you win power on attack, that's 5-4.
Yeah.
Then win dominance, it's 5-5. There is Long Claw as well for renown.
Yep.
All right, they have Longclaw. I didn't see that. It's Nelt. Yeah, nice. Okay.
And characters as well. Intrigue icons here could do unopposed because more and more can't defend.
Okay. But that means
Okay.
there will be no milk.
Yeah, so there's...
And also not a second Nightmares. Unless there's a zero cost attachment. He brings it in, gains 1 gold, and then plays Nightmares again. And, well.
Yeah. And yield so
Just
to win the
Swan to the
challenge.
watch, maybe. Well, he uses Halder to kneel the Westwatch by the bridge. So he's considered that he's not getting the wall through because of more and more, but now more and more can defend, right? There's less pressure on those intrigue challenges coming back. So what's the power situation?
So 6-4 after this challenge, right? There isn't any magic left. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say, yeah, Greyjoy passes. That's what I was thinking, and 6-5 with dominance if the Iron Throne is enough. At the moment, it's well with the Victarion and Balon standing, it would need to be calculated. But let's say it's enough. This you can defend with just the Mur and Mur, and it's not conceding any power. And then the power challenge needs to be won by Night's Watch to win the game. And they have 15 against 17.
Can they use this wildling attachment even if it's not participating?
Weirwood Bow.
Yes.
Yes, so that would be enough to get... Oh, okay.
But Balon also... so Balon gives +2. And... No, +3. And the Weirwood Bow -2.
And now the Iron Fleet Scout. So if it's used, the Iron Fleet Scout will bring the strength back up. Oh, it's incredibly tense, this.
You can't use Balon because he's not loyal.
Yeah, I can't use it on more and more, so we'll have to use the Iron Fleet Scout.
Okay, he's using it here.
Nice.
So he needs to... Does he need to pump the strength back up again?
Yeah, he does, because if it's unopposed, it's 6-5 and it's 6-6 with dominance. The question is, what's the dominance situation? Are the big guys enough to counter the wall? I don't think they are, because of the Grizzled Miner. He has a decent strength himself, and then the Woodsman as well. Yeah, plenty to win dominance here for Night's Watch.
Yep.
So it's coming down to the power challenge. Oh, and okay, that's That's a big guy, big guy for the strength in the power challenge, but if he wins this one with renown, it's just the same. And then Grizzled Miner and Halder have 8 against Balon, Fishmonger and the Reader. It's just enough for Greyjoy if there's no more surprises. Victarion defense and Balon's ability is used, I'm thinking here, right?
Yeah.
So unless
There
there's
we go.
just barely.
Gives the card away. No goal though.
Oh, that's the unfortunate thing. Isn't that many surprises for 0 goal, is there?
Okay, now this is going to be defended with 10. Just needs 1 plus 2 from somewhere.
Here we go. Defense with everything.
And renown on defense, so okay. I think that's officially it now. And France wins the World Cup just about by 2 strength, or by 1 strength, I guess, if we count the other challenges.
Wow.
Oh, that was insane.
Perfect final game, I think.
I was glad I managed to watch the end of this. That's a good one.
Yeah, shame we won't have the champions duel in the end. I wonder what what the choices would have been. So let's say Argento against Bing or something, Stark against Martel would have been pretty crazy to see.
Well, great congratulations to France for becoming a world champion, and also I think great congratulations to China for amazing runners-up, and you couldn't have hoped for a better final games. I think these were all amazing, great Sunday.
Yes, some really close ones, a few one-sided ones, but a lot of tension in some of the games. Really happy to grab most of them, and happy that the players have rescheduled some of them so that we could record as many as possible. So just missed the one, basically the one that was played on Thursday, but we have the other 7, and it was a great final match.
Thank you so much for streaming all of this, Miha. It's been terrific to have someone being able to do this. We got these great matches to rewatch now. So thanks again for streaming throughout the whole tournament. It's been some insane matches every single round that we got recorded. So yeah, this is gonna be some good content for the community for sure.
A bit lucky with how the final turned out, so that most of the games were played over the weekend, and with China involved, obviously with time zones, it had to be a bit earlier in the day, which works out fine for me. So I hope you all enjoyed it. So do you guys want to stick around for a chat? I think you were planning something, or are we skipping that?
I actually have to go. I'm away on vacation, so I just got a few minutes away from the rest here. So I'm gonna head out. So maybe we'll try to do something next week, but I'm not sure yet.
Okay, then I guess I won't do a big overview here. We can leave it here pretty much, and an invitation, of course, to all of you to join me in less than 3 hours now, when Hannes will be involved in the final of the Champions of Westeros against Argento, which promises to be a really great match. So good luck, Hannes, in that one.
Yeah, thanks. Being involved means getting my ass handed to me by the new crowned world champion. But yeah, do tune in to watch that.
I think
Thanks
you.
so much, Miha.
Yeah, I think you. It's not your first final, right? I think you've been there before.
And lost, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe time to make that right here. Yeah, so hope everyone joins us for that one. We'll maybe do another video to comment on the World Cup in the coming days when we can get a few guys together. As for this one,
Yeah.
thanks again to all of you for joining me specifically for the final, and of course to all of the co-commentators we had throughout the week in all of the 7 rounds we had. And as I said, join us again in a few hours, and let that be it for now. So have a good rest of the day. Bye bye.
Bye bye, guys.